Tuesday, that means it's Social Tuesday, and very similar to what we do with websites on Wednesdays, Dr. V and Heather and John have some folks that they found on social media, and they want me to take a look at what I would change or not change and what we love and hate about what folks have done on their social media profiles. A lot of the time, the stuff is either, it's not, nobody does a bad job of this on purpose.
No.
It usually boils down to they don't know how to make compelling and persuasive message, or this is sort of like a last minute thing and they just needed something there. So the text is kind of a placeholder. And, both of those are perfectly valid for getting something out there now. It's not necessarily valid to leave something out there for the world to see.
Yep.
So who wants to go first? Who's got an example where you can share your screen and we'll take a look?
I'm going to have my example.
Any social media platform you like, as long as it has words on it.
As long as it has words and pictures. Do you have yours, John?
Almost.
Okay. Yeah, my coach.
Who are we going to look at while you're loading it?
Okay. Hey. Here we go. I'm almost there. Almost there. Bear with me one moment.
Your call's important to us, John.
I know. I've heard this. Please hold. All righty. I think I'm ready to do this.
Hallelujah.
Here we go. All right. So I found someone who is a life coach. And
yay.
How'd you
Are you
manage
sharing your
that?
screen?
How did you manage that?
There's only like 50 million of them. I don't know. Somehow it worked. Somehow it just worked out.
The joke is John is looking for a life coach, and this is his slow walking way of vetting them.
This is probably
Use
bringing them up on these videos.
He's going to use
and we have
Dean's
to look at them.
expertise to find a good one.
This is probably not how I would find one, to be honest, but it's
I'm going to hit the buzzer if you don't share your screen fast.
Okay.
Here we go. Look
There
at that.
go.
Okay,
Look at
Allison Task.
Career life coach. All right.
Blow this up.
So let me find.
I like the color scheme.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, there's Allison's got quite a few good things going on here.
Allison charges $400 for the initial 60-minute call.
Good for her. It's cheaper than a divorce lawyer.
Nothing wrong with that. So
I can tell you right away, there's an awful lot of questions instead of headlines.
A lot of questions.
This isn't her homepage, is it? This is her about page or something?
This is her homepage.
All right, but I don't get it. Why are we looking at someone's webpage instead of their social media?
Well, because I had to start here to find their social media.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. This is some people bury their social media.
Is it just me, or has somebody put like a green overlay over Allison's picture and therefore her face?
It's
a little greenish.
Yeah. It's a little greenish. So
it's like we're looking at her through a patio screen or something.
Yeah, but one thing I do find, Dean, is I find that in general, somebody's website tells an awful lot about their social media.
Oh, yeah.
And I always start from the website.
No, it's really good to start here because this is sort of her base, right?
Yeah, this is sort of her base, and then this is sort of where we end up going. And from here, if you typically go all the way to the bottom of the page, sorry if I make you all dizzy and want to yak, but down at the bottom of the page is where we can find all the social media points. And so that's what I did. So I found all of Allison's social media points. And we're just going to go jump in. But all in all, website, decent looking. We obviously don't have time to go through looking at all of that. But starting with YouTube, maybe. Here we go. She's most people, whenever I see a YouTube channel, it always kills me. For somebody, it's usually so blank and generic, or there's nothing there. They don't have YouTube at all. So I don't see a lot of videos, but what I do see,
she's done a few things right. She maintains the same color scheme.
Yeah,
she's got a better photo on her YouTube page than she does on her webpage.
Much better. I would actually
see her. At least we know she's not from Mars, right?
Correct.
On this page,
correct. And she's got
women are from Venus, men are from Mars.
That's right.
She doesn't do much on thumbnails except for the latest one. It looks like.
Right. Looks like the latest one. Or actually, it looks like the latest one may have been a set of slides that she did, and it just kind of looks like a thumbnail.
Right. Yeah, you may be right there.
Yeah, because it's not really a thumbnail. And if we look
Right.
at actual volume of videos, yeah, I mean, we're looking at them.
Well, how old are these? 3 years,
Yeah,
2
3
years.
years ago, 3 years
So
ago,
she hasn't done anything here for
5
a
years
lot
ago.
since
She hasn't done
2019.
anything here for quite some time.
Basically, COVID was still not even a thing the last time she posted.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But
Right.
here's the thing, like she doesn't necessarily need to post on YouTube. And there's no, how am I going to put this? There's absolutely no reason why everyone needs to be on, or any particular person needs to be on all social media platforms, or at least to focus on all. You might have like what's called planting a flag. She sort of planted a flag here, right? There's something there.
There is.
She doesn't need to focus or put all her energy into everything at once. If she's got one social media platform that seems to work for her, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's LinkedIn, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's TikTok, I don't know, then like that's where she should focus. Unless she's going to have a whole social media team and, pay a lot of money and consistently post and turn that into a big part of every day or every month, then it doesn't matter that she doesn't necessarily matter that she only
Right.
has a handful of videos here and they're all really old.
Yep.
If this is it, if this is, I didn't happen to notice when you clicked, if all she had for social media was YouTube, this is kind of not going to cut it.
Oh no, it looks like she's got everything. So
Okay, so let's go look at everything.
we're gonna keep moving right along. So the only
So she
thing I
planted a
want
flag on YouTube. That's as far as it went.
she
Oh wait,
planted like
click on the about section here. As a coach, I help clients. Okay, so she has an opportunity with her business that most of us don't get. And if you remember the 3 layers, there's informational,
yeah,
and then up from that is inspirational, and up from that is transformational, which is basically here's what I am and what I do. You could be a better person. You could be a new person,
yes.
right? And very few parts of the economy can aim for transformational, but life coaching, diet, exercise, beauty, um, it's usually scammy, but financial services, those kind of things are the ones that you most associate with physical fitness. Those
Trauma
are the ones you most
recovery.
associate with transformational messaging.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's in line with that. I don't think she wrote this, but she's in line with that.
she's in line with that. So before I leave this page and move on to the next thing, I just want to say she's done kind of the basic things that you expect to see. She's got a
Right.
banner. She's got some links here for her social media on YouTube. And she's got some videos. And then the only next best practice that she's not taking advantage of is posting regularly, which she should be at least posting minimum once or twice a week. So
Before you move on this, by the way,
yeah,
one thing Allison, whether she paid someone to write this or not, one
Mhm.
thing she didn't do is follow sort of the rule of one. Right? If you read what's written here, she covers an awful lot
Yeah,
of things that she does.
yeah,
Well, that's the biggest challenge with a life coach. Life is big. I do
Yeah.
like that she has career and life coach,
Yeah.
which helps me think,
Hmm.
which helps me narrow it down a little bit.
I actually think career coach might be the better niche for her, but I'm just on the surface.
Yeah.
Then she'd have to cut parents to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. So all right. So anyways, on to Facebook.
I don't know.
So
Parenting is a heck of a career. I mean, that's not. I
Well,
would
coaching parents to be, right, is what she's put in there. So everything from finding a job to how to become a better parent or preparing for your first child. Like it's a very wide range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Very
hard
much
to market
throw
for.
everything at the wall and hope that somebody like latches onto something.
Right.
Usually what
Spaghetti.
people look at is like, people sort of in their mind, they often do a pluses and minuses calculation almost unconsciously. It's like, yes, this one thing she talks about would be for me, but all of these, that's a plus, and then all of the other things that I'm not interested in, or that's not the part of life I'm in, or I'm not that going to be that at all, those are all negatives, and they sort of like outweigh a tip and say,
Well, if I'm going to spend
compared to looking
$400
at
on
someone who says I help parents to be, and
right,
that's all they did,
if I'm going to spend
I'd go to that
$400
person.
on an intro session, I want it to be with a professional who is the best at that.
Yeah.
And if you're doing all things, then you're
Right.
a bit of a jack of all trades, which
Yeah.
has its place, but but not at $400 for an intro session. Then I need to know the parenting person, the person who's going to prepare me for that.
Right.
And it depends on what the offer is too. If it's, I'm going to create your specialized life path for better parenting of your teenagers, it might be worth $400.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the same person?
This is the same person, but
Yeah.
she looks different, doesn't
Different
she?
photos. Actually, does she have
Yeah.
3 photos on the top of her LinkedIn page of
She
herself?
has 3 photos, and
Okay.
I think it looks like the upper left-hand corner is a book.
Right. And then
Is
different
why
color
that's there.
scheme.
And different color scheme. So that's a big no-no. Of course, you want to have the same scent among all your branding, and so yeah, she's got all of that going on.
Personal revolution. I'm curious about the R in parentheses, whether she's trying to, it's supposed to be a trademark thing, or is it supposed to be just a play on revolution?
It's a play on words.
Play on words.
Yeah, words. And
I hope
just-
it's the title of her book, because if it's a headline, it's terrible. Also,
Yeah.
Allison, in case you ever get a chance to rename your book, you should take off the first 2 words of your subtitle.
I can't read the book.
I can't either.
No, I mean on the underneath personal.
Oh,
Just take off the first 2 words.
be happy, change your life.
Be happy. Don't worry.
Yeah. Much more.
How come you don't like the how-tos, Steen?
There's no reason for it to be there. It's redundant.
It's much more action oriented too. Be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good as a
My
search
guess is
term.
She didn't choose the subtitle. If this book was actually published by a publishing house, they
Yeah.
would have chosen the subtitle. And like how to is super popular for subtitles, but
Mhm.
Sure.
it's
Right.
just you look like everybody else.
Yep.
I coach people through big transitions that
Big transitions.
that change their
Okay.
lives. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, did I move too quickly on you?
You should connect with her, John. You're second. One connection away.
Who knew?
So hold on, let's not move off the banner first of
Yeah.
all. I've never actually seen anyone with their picture 3 times on the top. It's like, so she
There's a lot.
obviously what should happen is the picture on the far right should be eliminated, and
Right.
everything in the banner should be moved to the right.
Correct.
And ideally, if she could manage it, if it happens to be, I would move. So get rid of the picture on the right. I can't read the words under ocean in the personal revolution. So maybe that if that's a quote, it's like a book blurb or something. Is that what it is, John?
It looks like
Like it's a quote or an endorsement from somebody.
or a testimonial, yeah. Editor and writer.
Either way, I would move the book to the book should replace the picture on the right, and
I
then
agree.
and more or less
Correct.
leave all the text where it is, except there's no point in hiding part of your own subtitle and name with the picture that LinkedIn is going to force you to put in there.
Well, and this is just a lot of text for a banner in general. There's
It
too
is.
much going
It is.
on there. I want to know in one very large sentence that's readable on my cell phone when I'm looking at
Right.
that tiny little box.
Yeah, nobody can
Right,
read that on a phone.
Your font size is too small. If you have to go that small, then you've got the wrong thing going
Yeah.
on.
So aside from LinkedIn, what else does she have going on in social?
Well, I was
LinkedIn and YouTube.
just gonna say one thing on this before I run to the next thing. She's got everything going on, but I was gonna say the wording to me, or am I completely wrong? Like the wording to me here and her website is quite different. Like it.
Right.
If I were to look at the 2 things, I'd be like, is this the same person?
Right. There's
Okay,
brand cohesion issues.
not just me saying that. All right, good.
Now, hold on. Here's the
Oh.
thing.
Yeah,
I think the audience is different for each of these places.
could be.
Well,
Could be.
every audience could end up on the website, but a YouTube audience is going to be different than a LinkedIn audience and a personal type social media. I mean, LinkedIn is the coldest, most arm's length of the social media platforms, right? It is.
Yeah, I know. I
It
agree.
is.
Yes, but
Right.
the headshot and the color scheme at least need to carry over. I
Right,
don't have
yeah.
a problem with that. I
Yeah.
think
The branding should carry over for sure.
Well, yeah,
And then I
and the
would
YouTube
change the
she
about
hasn't
section.
updated. I mean, it's clear she hasn't posted anything in multiple years. That's the
Right.
old brand. She's
Yeah.
done a rebrand, and I would think that this would be current.
Yeah.
It kind
You
of
might
looks
be
that
right.
way, and I would think some of the wording has to be tied together somehow because you just think it's a completely different person with a completely different thing going on.
Right. And then
This is-
by the way, John, can you scroll down a bit to see her activity? Like, does she post or share much on LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Basically I'm trying to find what's her social media home? Because so far we haven't found it.
featured.
What's it under activity? When was that
I
done?
bet it's Facebook.
2 days?
2 days.
Okay.
6-minute read, 2 days.
Okay. And then the only thing I would sort of add, I doubt that Allison's ever going to see this, but apparently people see these. I get feedback.
People do watch these.
People do watch this stuff. For her about section, I would just sort of, I don't know if she wrote it. It kind of looks like she wrote it.
Yeah.
Just a thematic note for Allison is that the about section is tricky. There's a reason most people don't even fill it out. It's because the rest of your page is either built automatically or is just chronological information. So you have some play on the banner and then you have some play in the about section. And the about section, it's not about you. It's about me, the reader. And you don't get to me until the last sentence of the preview. So instead it's all you talking about you. Here's the thing. You have to talk about yourself in the about section and on your LinkedIn page. I mean, people are there to solve a problem. They're looking to see if you solve the problem. But when I'm reading about you, it should seem to me like I'm reading about me.
Right.
Or the journey you're going to take me on, little hero's journey arc.
Yeah.
Story arc.
I had to see how we're connected. Not by who I thought. Anyways, no, I actually thought it would be like a friend from Cornell or something.
I would rewrite the about section a little bit just to understand. It should be talking about me and then your context in it, not you. And then I have to figure out whether I fit into your world.
Yep.
Okay.
So moving right along.
Twitter.
Yeah, the one thing I like about her is she's got everything. So we can take a little peek around at everything.
Well, she did carry over her banner, so she's somewhat consistent from
no, very consistent between those two things. So that's good. Obviously, she's maybe she's a little behind on her website. She's not. Well, she's posting fairly regularly.
Yeah.
22 hours, May 13th, April 25th. Could be posting a lot more regularly, but.
And then, if I remember, this one has the same branding as the LinkedIn page and different from the web page and the YouTube page, right?
Yep, exactly true.
Yeah, so, it has literally the same graphic, except you can now see her face better on the left because of the way Twitter formats its graphic layout.
Well, and now we can tell it's not that she had 3 pictures of herself on her LinkedIn; it's that one of them is the book.
Sure, but either way, she doesn't need the picture on the right.
Yeah.
Although I'm wondering if the one on the right is tied to something too.
Maybe.
I think it was her best photo.
No,
I think it's
maybe it's part of something in the book, or I don't know. It looks
no, like I think she had a banner with her photo. I think she had a banner with her photo in it, and she added the whole stuff after she had the book. That's what I believe.
So, anyways,
and then for her profile, I'll tell you as many LinkedIn about sections that I've written for people, and it's well into triple digits, hundreds and hundreds of them. The most fun I ever had was when someone showed up and said, instead of LinkedIn, can you write my Twitter? You only get 160 characters. It was so much fun to write that. I would just say in her second sentence, either the first or the second sentence needs to be shorter a little bit, but I would change "I'll help you clarify your intentions" to the word "let's." Then you're on the same team. Yeah. Let's clarify your intentions, and I wouldn't necessarily say take action, but
let us pray.
There we go.
Yeah. Take out "I'll help you" and just put it in with "let's." Let's is like me putting my arm around your shoulder. I'm with you in this. I'm going to backstop you and lead you. Let's go.
I feel warmer already.
You should, Dr. V. All right. So interesting. And you don't know Allison other than a tenuous weak tie on LinkedIn somehow.
Well, I wouldn't say too tenuous a link tie. It's a really close friend of mine that she's related to.
There you go.
So that's kind of interesting.
Okay. Instagram.
Yay.
Yeah, we get a little bit of everything.
One of my favorites.
Now, why not use that same first line on her Twitter profile?
Why not?
Swap it out with the first line she has on Twitter.
Do you know why?
That's a
because
stronger
she's
line.
adding one profile at a time as opposed to doing the whole sequence. That's why.
That's a much stronger first line.
Yeah.
It should also replace the first 50 words on her LinkedIn about section.
Mm.
All right, scroll up again. I want to see the
Oh, sorry.
Back to the bio.
coach bestselling. Yeah, so where it says coach, best-selling author, mother of four, why not just say coach, mother of four, best-selling author of Personal Revolution? Why do you have to say author twice in such a short amount of time?
You don't, and obviously, the number of words is critical.
Yeah.
So
People are going to skim. So like get it all in there fast before they even possibly bounce out of there. But yeah, interesting. And new photographs on this one. So it's just like the website and YouTube haven't been updated in a long time. And then on social, much more active. She's pretty active, I think, right? On LinkedIn and on Twitter. And what about here?
Instagram looks fairly active. I can't. I don't have any dates on the post.
Well, you have to open the post.
I have to admit, though, I mean, overall, she's doing pretty well. She needs to fix the banner with the three heads on LinkedIn and Twitter, and the copy could use some tightening up and less redundancy. But other than that, it's pretty good. Stick to one branding message, though.
Yes, right.
Well, maybe three heads are better than two.
Yeah.
In general, pretty good, and she's posting. So, and then Facebook.
Oh, I forgot about Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook.
And we're back to the same thing again of the three heads.
Same, except this at least looks better because
you can read more of it.
You can read a lot more of it, right?
Yes.
But this is desktop versus mobile. Mobile, you might have some blockers there.
Can you go back to, let's say, Twitter for a second?
Yeah.
Why you have a lot of tabs open, man?
I do. I'm sorry.
He's a tabaholic like I am. So.
I was working on a bunch of stuff, and unfortunately, this.
Have you noticed that they're like the upper left face almost points towards the right hand face, then the right hand face points towards the lower left hand
Brady
face.
Bunch.
The lower
They're
left
all
hand
looking at
face
each
points
other.
off to my right shoulder.
I have noticed that. Yes.
And none of them are looking at me.
Right.
3 opportunities to look me in the eye, and none of them.
And they're just looking at each other.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least they're very happy looking at each other.
They are.
Looking at each one is looking at a person that makes her very happy.
Herself. Is there anything else you want to take a quick look at? Or
let's go back to Facebook for a second.
Yeah, go back to Facebook. Sure.
Yes, sir, please.
You're welcome.
Okay, now this is desktop, like we said, but it's fine. And then fairly active on Facebook too.
Yeah, it seems like fairly active.
Is it the same stuff everywhere?
May 15th post? No, very different. Seems like different posts.
So, I mean, either she's got a lot of time, or she finds this stuff really interesting anyway, or she does have like at least a part-time social media person.
But there's about 3 to 5 days between posts. So I mean, I wouldn't call her a frequent poster. You ideally want to post
once
or twice a day. Yeah, at least once a day.
Yeah,
I think so too. Once just doesn't quite do it justice.
I'm never gonna post even twice a week. It's just not.
Well, the funny thing is, it's easier than most people think if you just utilize the tools to do it.
Yeah,
and
you need to use some automations.
You do need to use some automations.
Yeah. Well, and also, Dean, you're going live 4 times a week, so you shouldn't be posting all the time.
No,
now that I think about it, I'm live 4 times a week on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love streaming and streaming live. That's the only thing that's happening. Like, please don't go to my YouTube because I think I put a banner up, maybe. But it's a landing ground, so at least I have some videos there. At least I have some action there, and it's on the to-do list, which of course we'll see when I get to it. But it's lower on that priority list, but at least there's something there. So
yes, and I think that's important. You can simplify, but just have something there, so at least it looks remotely lived in. If you can't get it all together at once, and just slowly keep working on it.
Right.
So, was there anything else you'd like to see, or should I stop my sharing?
No, I think we've said enough nice things and a couple of hopefully of constructive things for Allison, Task, life coach.
I'd like to see the
Okay.
chickens.
Chickens.
Your chickens.
Well,
I'm sorry, that'll have to be for another day.
Oh, okay.
all right. Well, we're about 25 minutes in, but I'm okay with looking at one other person real quick if anyone has anyone up.
I've got one I pulled on page 10, but so this will be pretty fast, actually, I think. Let me do
page 10.
Why is it
on Google?
Why is it on Google? Yeah.
The nice thing is Allison had everything.
What?
I said the nice thing of this was Allison had everything, and you could see the consistency from one to the other.
So I have many tabs open also. So John and I have
We're tabaholics together.
We're tabaholics. We're in the same self-help group. So anyway, so this was a local chiropractor. I just did Chiropractor San Diego, and this came up, and many of my more conservative friends want to own the libs. So apparently these are the libs.
There you go.
So it's husband and wife, Jay David and Lori Libs. So I just it's interesting their selection. We're not going to look at, although the website would be very interesting to do for another day, but they basically have Facebook.
Bookmark this one. We might want to look at.
We should come back to this one because this is a page tenner. So there's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which is a little bit of a bizarre choice.
It is a bit.
It is for a chiropractor. I'm going to go to the Twitter one first because this just was interesting. This account doesn't exist.
Oh,
okay.
So they're linking to a non-existent account. So we're going to.
Well, that did make it really easy to evaluate.
That made it super easy.
Yes.
So this is their Instagram. And it's only Dr. J. Again, I would imagine that Lori has her thing too, but he's labeling himself as entrepreneur instead of chiropractor in PB being Pacific Beach, which is north of where I live down here near downtown.
Okay.
And it just says chiropractic and golf. I think he's wasting his time with these little dots here.
Yeah.
You know, and
that one doesn't even have anything next to it.
I mean, there's nothing there. And then the DM me, I mean, the new patient special, this is always very controversial, but within the chiropractic profession, because a lot of times, discounted services that you offer to others, insurance companies hate that and they start demanding discounted services too.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm curious why it's lib, it's a nonprofit.org. And then they have Libs Chiropractic.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. He's
this
all over the place.
Yeah, this confuses me. But they are active. I just don't understand the nonprofit. Maybe he's got a charity in here. I'm not really sure. But he keeps advertising the new patient special. I don't want to see that if I'm coming here. The gift certificate. It's kind of sell. Then suddenly there's a recipe that must be again. That's an Instagram reel. There's another reel. So he's starting to do the reels because he knows that Instagram is promoting reels big time. But then there's nothing else here other than these static things.
New patient special.
I will tell you, they're not very attractive, some of these things. So, and he's quoting other people like Lewis Howes, for example, in through here. I'd like to see him quote himself personally. But I mean, this is, at least this person is posting. Now, when I go to the Facebook part, this intrigues me a bit because at least we see the location here, but I do think this is a lot of wasted space. Yeah, there should be something, not necessarily a call to action, but something that draws you a little bit more in here. Got 35-star reviews, probably, got all the patients to sign up and do reviews. At least definitely has this in through here. The interesting thing is I would like to see the faces of the doctors here rather than just and actually faces of staff usually are great for banners for chiropractors, dentists, and others.
Looking directly camera. Also, why have the same picture twice as your banner?
I don't know. See, that's what bothers me too. It really bothers me.
Come on, man.
But now their last post was August of 2021. And I'm very concerned with this because the general psychology is when somebody's looking for a chiropractor, a dentist, anybody else like that, the first place they go to, of course, is Google. They Google it. They go to the website. The second place, 70% of people, the second place they go to actually is a Facebook page or Instagram, which is crazy because they want to see your social. And if I'm coming here and I see the last post was about a year ago, I'm thinking to myself, these people aren't very current. Are there other things slipping through the cracks in their practice since they're not, posting regularly? I mean, I'm just wondering about this. And so they were very active in August of 2021, but they stopped. See, And some of these posts are fine, they're good, but see, notice something about this. There's nearly no, one like and one love. A lot of these posts, 2 little likes. There's no conversation. There are no comments. Posts with 0, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And the same thing, you just keep seeing, if you're getting 1 like all the time or 0, lots of zeros, I think they just gave up.
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like to me. That
Yeah.
they gave
Well,
up.
and really hard to do. One of the things I recommend I've worked with groups like similar to this, and one of the things I recommend is getting testimonials from especially when you're new and you don't have a following. First of all,
Yeah.
you
Oh
have
yeah.
to have a message for your page. Why should I follow my chiropractor's page? You should be
Yeah,
teaching
but
me
Right.
about how to maintain my
they
health
do have
on
reviews, which
on
is
the
fine.
regular. The reviews are great, but they need to be. Why should I look at their page? They need to be teaching me about how to maintain my health. And then
Correct.
for growth, you want to have customer testimonials where you tag the customer and then they show it to their friends. And
Mhm.
that really amplifies the word of mouth. And that's what a Facebook page is for. And you definitely want the reviews on there. That's great.
Yeah.
But you have to have that strategy. And then it's always demoralizing to post and nobody says anything. And that is,
Right.
again, why you need to find people to tag and get your staff on board with that and to have
Right.
different staff members posting and all that kind of thing. You want to really go in with a strategy. Otherwise, what happens is what happened here. They posted all kinds of great stuff for a month. Nothing happened and they gave up. So they didn't have,
Yeah.
this is a strategy
And,
miss or we have to have a presence. Let's just throw something out there.
and I want to
Right.
see more photos of them, which really is not featured. They're using a lot of stock photos. I'm not a big fan of
We've hit I have to go. I have another session to host, but I hope you all have a great rest of your conversation.
You
And
too.
good luck,
you.
Lips.
See ya.
Thank you.
Oops,
Good
yeah.
luck and God bless. God bless
So,
us.
for anyone who doesn't know, Dr. V spent decades in his own chiropractic practice. So
Yeah,
he
I
brings a
wish I
level
had.
of passion to this that the rest of us are, we're a little more arm's length from that industry, but he knows that industry.
I
Right.
wish I had social media back then, because I did coupons and newspaper ads and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
This would have been, I would have gone wild with this. So maybe
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good that I never had social media. Anyway, so but here you get this thing too. It's like personal injury and family wellness. Now 30 plus, that's collective. That has to be collective because these two are not old enough to be
Yeah, to have
35
that
years in
kind of time
practice.
each.
I'm old enough to be 35 years in practice. But it's interesting, the DM call. I kind of like the fact that they're at least calling out something here. Apparently 19 of my friends like them because I'm friends with a lot of chiropractors. So,
Mhm.
but and the challenge that happens a lot of times when you're looking for the page likes and things like that, very often chiropractors go out and they get all of their chiropractic buddies to like the page, which is relatively meaningless compared to getting your patients and local people and really targeting that local market as much as possible. In this case, in Pacific Beach.
Mhm.
So I just think they can do a lot more. I would get rid of that bad Twitter account or the bad link and maybe even establish a brand new one, which would be fine. But I want to see faces. I'm with you, Dean. I want to see faces looking at me
Yep.
because I don't like the idea of going into and by the way, too, this photo is very grainy of the location itself. I
Yeah, it
mean,
is.
it's pretty grainy. But I mean, you can tell they did good stuff back here. They weren't posting, twice a day or so, but it was almost daily. It was like every other day, every other day, every
Back
other
in the
day.
day.
And Heather's right. They just gave up. So don't give up.
There could be a number of reasons for that, but
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell.
it's hard
I'm
to
going to
tell.
go back over here, but it was interesting because these were the page 10 folks. Whoops. I got to stop sharing the screen. Boom. Okay.
Boom.
But these were the folks on page 10, which I thought was really kind of interesting. So I went with a local business page 10, and I've never heard of these people, by the way. And I was actually moving around town throughout most of San Diego County, connecting with chiropractors. I was dropping off donuts to them for social media services. And it was an interesting experience to go from office to office to office, dropping off donuts. You would think that a health professions were against getting sugary, fatty treats, but
Not
man,
at
the
all.
staff just loved them. So
Oh my God.
I don't know why.
My dentist, their office is horrifying.
Exactly.
Where's the Krispy Kremes?
Exactly. But it's interesting because social media really you have to emphasize the whole social thing. And I've often thought of was it Mari Smith? No, somebody else had mentioned to me many years ago. Think of social media as you're going to a party. Carry on conversations, Be friendly, connect with people, be really interested in them, which Dean, you always talk about that. What's in it for me? For me, for me. What are you telling them? But also don't be the jerk at the party. And because if you're going to a party and somebody approaches you immediately says, "Hey, I'm Ted Ryerson. I sell insurance. Do you have enough life insurance?" You're just not. And when we saw earlier here in the Instagram thing, it was sales, 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 sales. It wasn't educational. It was like buy, 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 buy. And I want to say bye, bye if you're going to tell me to buy, bye. So,
or to put it in terms we use here a lot, there's a scale between selling from your heels, being cool or neutral in your messaging, being assertive and being aggressive.
Yeah,
they come off as you with your eye and knowing that industry. They're on the aggressive side and pulling it back to just the assertive side. Assertive just means this is true, so I'm going to say it, as opposed to buy now. Here's a discount. And that's all
and it's just that it's that buy now, or even buy one get one half off, like a BOGOs and things like that. It's just like a BOGO in the healthcare profession is a no-go for me. I mean, it just doesn't ring true. And I think if you're presenting yourself as sincerely interested in helping people, you really don't need to be pounding them over the head with your specials.
Right.
Because they'll just naturally be attracted to you because they'll see you as a helpful person, a member of the community, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, that's my rant for today. It's like,
and it's a good one.
Right.
Be a good party guest on social media. That's what I would say.
All right. That's Social Tuesday. I think it went a lot smoother than last Social Tuesday, which was our first ever Social Tuesday.
It's bound to happen.
We're getting there. And then tomorrow is the day that I dread every week.
Oh, this is the way. This is the day. This is my favorite day of the week.
I know it's all of your favorite days of the week. It's like it's the one day when everyone tries to show up and be on the call, right? And so, but tomorrow's Website Wednesday. So I think we actually have someone.
Yes, we do.
Who wants me to
a request? Who actually watched the last Website Wednesday and said, "How do I get in on that action?"
So I actually don't have a preference. We always say it's either going to be someone halfway down on the 10th page of Google or someone who submits and is willing to sort of sit through it. And so does you know this person, right?
This person started as a patient of mine and wound up working with me in a weight loss center that I had put together in Alexandria, Virginia. And then she moved on to create her own business in fitness and wellness. And it's Vicky, my friend Vicky, and she is awesome.
Does Vicky want to actually be?
I should ask her. That would be really something. If she could be on the call, even better.
Then we can ask questions about what were you thinking about this and why this instead of that.
What
it doesn't matter to you.
Vicky?
No, not what were you thinking, Vicky? Well, I mean, a little bit of history here too. So I actually helped her. I secured a domain name for her,
right?
And I feel so guilty because I let that domain name expire, and she had to wind up using a hyphen in her domain name. And to this day, I am sad about that.
The dreaded hyphen in the domain name.
I know, but we can even talk about that. Maybe changing it to get rid of the hyphen.
Sure.
So anyway, but that's tomorrow. I think
at least check and see if the domain name is the original one is available.
Somebody wants to sell it for a lot of cash, and she's not in a position.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good name, but we'll reveal that name tomorrow.
Okay. So let her know if she wants to actually come on and be a guest. I'm happy to send her a link. She can turn on her camera and be with us.
That would be awesome. She's quite a wonderful person. So
sounds like a hoot.
All right. Yeah. All right. It would be fun.
Goodbye, everyone. Tomorrow, the most stressful day of the week for me, but
it might be more stressful if Vicky shows up. She might be stressed out about it.
We'll see.
You could be stressed buddies.
That's it for Social Tuesday. And